Good morning and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. My name is Dave and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope that our service this morning finds you happy and healthy, but please know that if you're struggling in any way, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. And as we gather here today during the most wonderful time of the year, we acknowledge that many people around the world are celebrating different holidays in many different ways. So whether you celebrate with chestnuts roasting on an open fire, decking the halls, or you jingle bells to the beat of a little drummer boy, we here at TBC would like to wish you a wonderful holiday season filled with peace, love, and blessings. Let's begin this morning with some conscious breath work, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and then pause for a moment before releasing slowly so the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, and releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. And a second conscious breath, pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, and then releasing slowly. And as you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week. All the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. And a third conscious breath together. Holding just a moment. And releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin our service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, And it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. And our chant today is not on the board yet. There it is. Om Ami Dewaze. This is a chant that enhances compassion for all beings. And as the Buddha said, if your compassion does not include yourself, it's incomplete. So let's take another conscious breath together. And let's begin. Om Nami Dewaze. 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 With a smile. Om Nami Dewaze. Om Nami Dewaze. Once more. Om Nami Dewaze. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights as well as mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you will participate only at the level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. Let's just take a moment now to silence any electronic devices and to prepare a meditative environment. And we will now recite the prayer of refuge. We'll recite this together 3 times in honor of the 3 jewels. Together, in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we prepare now for a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that's fitting for you this morning. If you're new to meditation, then we'll begin with an opening dedication. We'll sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and then we'll spend approximately 10 to 12 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin with a conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And now, as we listen to the sound of the bell receding into the silence, allow your mind, your attention to follow that sound into the emptiness, into the vacuum. The silence, the nothingness. And as we enter into that nothingness, the silence, we find that it's not truly empty. It's very fertile. It's very rich. So I invite you to taste the silence. Invite that emptiness into your awareness. We're not pushing anything away. We're not grasping at anything at all. We're simply inviting and allowing. Inviting the mind to become still. To move from thinking and doing into feeling, sensing, and being. So I invite you to become aware of the body sitting in the chair or on the cushion. Just feel the sensations in the body. And then I invite you to bring your awareness into the breath. Noticing the rhythm of the breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. Noticing the balance between the in-breath and the out-breath. Notice the feeling of the breath in the body. How it feels, where you feel it. As you sit and breathe, I invite you to imagine that you are no longer breathing, but that the universe is breathing through you. Each in-breath, each out-breath is a microcosm of the breath of the tides, rising and falling, ebbing and flowing. The rhythm of the days and the nights. The rhythm of the seasons. The rhythm of life and death. In this breath, I breathe in, I breathe out. As you breathe in, imagine that you are breathing in the entire universe, all that is. And as you breathe out, I invite you to let go of everything. Become totally empty. And noticing the rhythm of this allness and nothingness. That's the nature of the universe. That's the nature of your being. You are all, you are nothing. Let the breath be a tangible reminder of that timeless truth. Breathing in everything, breathing out everything. Now, once again, I invite you to open your awareness to the body sensations, feeling the body sit in the chair or on the cushion, breathing, sensing the body, and then opening awareness to hearing. And in a moment, you'll hear the sound of the bell, and as you do, I invite you to gently open your eyes and bring awareness to the experience of seeing. Seeing and hearing, thinking, feeling, being fully alive in each moment, being fully awake in each moment. And now here is the sound of the bell. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy winter solstice. Although it seems more like the spring equinox to me. So we just invite whatever is here, whatever weather inwardly or outwardly is here, whatever seasons we're in. And also, of course, happy Christmas Eve for those of us that celebrate Christmas. So before I begin my formal talk, I'd like to have a little bit of fun with some Christmas facts. We celebrate Christmas in our culture, but relatively few people know much about how Christmas came to be. And of course, Christmas is ostensibly the celebrating the birthday of Jesus Christ. And as I was taught as a Catholic boy in school, that Jesus was born on December 25th at the year 0. Well, I hate to break a bubble, but that's not necessarily true. As most of you know, Jesus probably was not born on December 25th because there were no records kept for ordinary people at that time of birth and death. So nobody knows exactly when he was born. Some surmise that it was in the springtime because of the shepherds watching their flocks in the field, as it's recorded in the Gospel of Luke, I believe. So anyway, nobody knows what day of the year he was born. And we do know that he was not born in the year 0. He was likely born somewhere around 5 BC. And they've affixed the date of Herod's death, King Herod's death, which is mentioned. Jesus stayed in Egypt till Herod died and then came back. So Herod died somewhere around 5 BC. So that's how they determined that particular date. After Constantine, the Emperor Constantine, became converted, or at least his mother became converted to Christianity, and talked him into making Christianity the official religion for the Roman Empire. So instead of persecuting the Christians were now the official state religion. So I guess you'd be persecuted if you weren't a Christian after that. So, but Constantine wanted to gain political power. Of course, that was his motivation. And he instructed the church officials to find ways to get the Christian holidays interspersed with and matching up with the existing pagan Roman holidays. So there was a holiday known as Saturnalia, which was celebrated right around the winter solstice, and that's when the church officials decided to convert that into Christmas, the birth of Jesus. And so it turned out to be a marriage of convenience rather than having anything to do with historical fact. In the Middle Ages, Christmas was celebrated kind of like Mardi Gras, in a way. Sort of a Mardi Gras in reverse. Advent, 40 days before Christmas, was a time of fasting and prayer. And then Christmas morning, before the sun rose, there was a Mass, Christmas Mass. And after that, why, you partied for 12 days. And so it was a feasting of the first day of Christmas, the second day of Christmas, third day of Christmas. That's when gifts were exchanged. And we're all familiar with that song, The 12 Days of Christmas, which is indicative of the way that Christmas was celebrated back in the Middle Ages. So interestingly enough, in this country, among the first of those to settle in this country were the Puritans in New England. And of course, the Puritans were against anything that was fun. and so they basically forbade anyone to celebrate Christmas. In fact, it became a law. You could be fined or imprisoned if you were seen with a Christmas tree or Christmas decoration. So really, Christmas was not a big custom in the early days of our country. The early settlers saw Christmas as part of an English celebration, and they wanted nothing to do, after the Revolution, they wanted nothing to do with the English. So Christmas was pretty much not a big deal. It wasn't until after the Civil War that the U.S. government made Christmas, December 25th, an official holiday. So Christmas is not always what we think it is today. So yeah, you won't go to jail for buying a Christmas tree. It was probably the German immigrants that brought the practice of decorating trees and wreaths and bringing holly and all of that into the home, because in Germany, Northern Europe, for many years, why the ancients worshiped the trees and nature. They were nature spirits. And so bringing a Christmas tree into the home was like having an altar. And the idea of the Yule log, it's a special log that's, it's not just for decoration, but there was kind of a spiritual significance to it, because we were inviting the gods into our home during the cold season. And Santa Claus, well, Santa Claus is kind of a composite of a number of different characters. There was a St. Nicholas, who had nothing to do with Christmas, but he was a Catholic bishop in the early days of the church. He was noted for his love and generosity. And then the English had Father Christmas for many years, characters who brought gifts to the good children during many years, Middle Ages and later. And then there was the experience of Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas was sort of the Dutch equivalent of Father Christmas. So all of this sort of synthesized into what we now call jolly old Saint Nick or Santa Claus or whatever you want to call him or her these days. So much for Christmas. Let's come back to an older holiday. Probably the oldest holiday celebrated by human beings, and that is the winter solstice. The winter solstice was a time when it was recognized that the days stopped becoming shorter and started to become longer. So many believed that the sun was getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and then suddenly it started to get stronger again. So it was like symbolic of the light returning. When we get to the longest night is when the sun begins to gain strength and return. So it's sort of a symbol of hope, a symbol of recognizing that darkness is not forever. And of course, in the winter or summer solstice, we see the light is not forever either. The light weakens after that day too. So the ancients were very much in touch with the seasons, in part because of agriculture, travel, but probably even more importantly was the seasons were part of who they were, because they were very much attuned to nature. They were very much attuned to the stars in the sky. The universe was not something outside of themselves. It was actually part of themselves, you see. We talked last week, I think, about, or whenever it was, we talked about wishing upon the star. The desire in the star was seen as being inside as well as outside. You see, the sun was inside of us as well as outside of us. So the darkness was celebrated, and then when the light returned, that was the hope that the sun would come back and give us life. So there was a symbol of death in the autumn, the winter, and then life returning in the spring and in the summer. So life and death, spring and summer, the seasons, there was a rhythm. This rhythm was not only external, but it was internal. The rhythm was within our own bodies. You know, our bodies change with the seasons. You know, our skin changes. The different rhythms of our body. I don't know all of the specifics, but I do know that our bodies need different things in the wintertime than they do in the summertime. And so there's an adjustment to different temperature and less light and so on and so forth. So we are part of the universe and the universe is part of us. But we lose sight of that in our race to get to Macy's and buy the latest, what is it, Tickle Me Elmo or Furbury or whatever, you know, is more important than anything else, you see. So I want to talk about light and darkness. And I want to emphasize something I think that's really important, because in our mind, in the Western mind, we have tended to equate darkness with evil. and white or lightness with good. And I want to scratch that at all. Darkness is not evil. Darkness is not bad. Darkness is not suffering. You know, people talk about the dark night of the soul. It did not mean suffering, depression, all this sort of drama, internal drama, you know. Darkness simply means that which is unknown. That's all it means. So when we enter into the darkness, when we embrace the darkness, it means we open up to that which we do not know. So darkness is the unknown. Darkness is what's called the unconscious element of the mind, or some call it that. Darkness is the hidden, that which we do not see. If you're familiar with Taoism and the yin-yang symbol, darkness is the yin symbol. Associated with the yin is the feminine, the receptive, winter, emptiness, nature, silence, and death. You see, and all of that is just part of life. And so, to the degree that we resist any of that, or to the degree that we deny any of it, to that degree that we are actually denying our life. We are denying our connection with the universe, both physically and beyond. And conversely, light does not necessarily mean happiness and joy. Light simply means that which is known. You know, like when you shine a light on something, you can see it. Light is that which is known. Light is expression. Light is the masculine. Light is the yang in the yin-yang symbol. It is that which is active, summertime, growth, etc., etc. So the active, passive, the day and the night, the winter, the summer, this is a rhythm that's part of the universe, both physically and spiritually. And to the degree that we are able to really tune into that, to that degree we realize our connection and our oneness with the rest of the universe. And I believe that's really what our culture deeply needs and our world deeply needs, because we are very totally separated from that at great cost, I would say. Darkness is necessary. Night is necessary. Death is necessary. You know, if you had an orchard, let's say you grew apples or peaches or whatever, and in the wintertime, if those trees were not bearing fruit, hopefully you would not go out and cut them down and make firewood out of them, saying these trees are not doing anything worthwhile. It's the nature of the trees to not do anything for 6 months out of the year, you see. That's the nature of nature. But in our culture, we somehow identify with ourselves more with machinery than we do with natural phenomena. And so somehow we believe that we are apart from nature. We should not be affected by the risings and the fallings of the tides of our emotions and of our lives. Darkness is necessary. If we know only the light, which we typically do in our culture, we know only half of life. If you think of life as a circle, then light, it may be the upper half, and dark may be the lower half. So the Native Americans practiced the sacred circle, the medicine wheel. And so the lower half represented the unknown, the unconscious, the upper half, the conscious and the known. I think when we, a great example of how we only see half of life is when we look at a tree. You know, we all know what a tree looks like, but we really don't, because more than half of that tree is invisible. Invisible to the eye. It's buried. It's beneath the soil. You say, all we see is what's above it. And it's kind of like an iceberg in a way. You know, you see the iceberg, but you're only seeing one little part of the iceberg. So the visible world, the world that we live in, is just a fraction of what the total reality of our life is. And only when we open up to the possibility of the unseen and of that which is called the darkness do we become whole. And that's what the Tao is about. The yin and the yang is not about trying to obliterate the dark, the black, or trying to obliterate the white. It's about coming into balance with the dark and the light. Balance, wholeness, rhythm, acceptance of each part of our life experience. Our culture is way out of balance, as you already know, probably. It clings to the light, it clings to the masculine, the active, it denies death, it represses the feminine, it avoids emptiness, it fears the unknown, you say. So we're going against the conditioning of our culture when we open up to the night. When we don't open up to the unknown, to the feminine, to the feeling nature, to that which is hidden, the unconscious, then we become very shallow. We become like a plant that's been plucked up and stuck in a pot full of water, you see. It may look beautiful for a few days, but it's going to die very quickly. And that's, in many ways, symbolic of what's happening to us as a culture. And I think when I say culture, not just our country, but I'm talking about the modern world in essence. You and I are part of the culture, whether we like it or not. We grew up in it. We're like a fish in the ocean. The ocean is like the culture. You know, we may say, I don't believe in that. I'm counterculture, and I don't agree with that. And that's perfectly okay. However, that doesn't make it go away, because it's still very much entrenched in deep within our consciousness. Dr. Carl Jung says one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious, by embracing the darkness. One of the best ways to do this is through meditation, and in particular, awareness of the body. That's one reason why I advocate focusing on the body for at least part of our meditations, because the body is, in a sense, the visible aspect of the unconscious. The awareness of the body is the fastest way to reach the unconscious awareness. So the winter solstice is a great reminder for us to embrace the darkness, to embrace the unknown, to honor the feminine, and to accept death. So the title of my talk, Silent Night, Holy Night. The root of the word holy is the word whole. So when we embrace the silent night, when we embrace the silence, when we embrace the night, the darkness, the unknown, we become holy. We become whole beings. And that's what we're here for, is to become all that we are and all that we may become. So let's stop for a moment and just rest in those words. May all beings be whole. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings embrace all aspects of who they are. So be it.
And as we move now from our lesson into a heart practice, it's okay to stretch or shift your posture or take a breath. And a heart practice is an expression of the heart that we share with the universe. During this time, many folks like to acknowledge this expression with a gesture such as the Anjali Mudra, or maybe placing one or both hands over the heart. Or if you're in a meditation posture, you can simply flip your hands upside down as a way to radiate love outward. And today's heart practice is a metta practice. And we'll begin with a conscious breath together. And as you release that breath, bring to mind a full body image of yourself. And holding this image in your mind's eye, let us open our hearts and send metta. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind, and may I be at ease and happy. And a conscious breath. And as you release that breath, bring to mind the image of a friend or loved one. And holding this person's picture in your head, let's send them metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind, and may you be at ease and happy. And a conscious breath. As you release that breath, bring to mind the image of an acquaintance, someone you don't know that well. And holding this person's image in your mind's eye, let's send them metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind, and may you be at ease and happy. And a conscious breath together. And as you release that breath, bring to mind the image of a difficult person in your life. This could be a boss or a coworker, a neighbor. and recognizing that even the most annoying or unskillful people are still worthy of metta, let's open our hearts and send them loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind, and may you be at ease and happy. In a conscious breath. And as you release that breath, bring to mind an image of the world, with all the plants, the trees, the animals of the land, the sea, the sky. And don't forget to include yourself in this last part. And holding this image in your mind's eye, let's send metta to the whole world. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we be well in body and mind, and may we be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that breath, open your eyes and smile. In the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, meaning not in return for anything that you've received, but so that others who may seek refuge can find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located at the back of the meditation hall and up on the upper level near the door at the west side. And thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers, and thank you to our TBC ambassadors, those who have committed to regular electronic donations. It's not about the amount, it's just that the monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you would like to become an ambassador, you can point your camera at the QR code on the cards in the seat backs in front of you, or you can come by our website at templebuddhistcenter.com. Thank you to Robert for sharing your wisdom with us today. And thank you to Victor for filling in and sharing us some wonderful music. And thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your heart and your time and your practice with us here today. We certainly are the better for it. And in just a moment, we'll put the bodhicitta dedication up on the screen. We will recite that together one time. And then if you can stick around for just a few minutes afterwards, we do have some announcements. The bodhicitta dedication together. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste.
Namaste.
And so Victor has some announcements as well as a special presentation for us, if you can stick around for just a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. A couple of really quick announcements, and then I had a request, several requests. Okay, just one request.
And it was yours, right?
Yeah, and it was me. For the Buddhist Jingle Bell song. But before we do that, a couple of things real fast. I sent out a Temple Buddhist Center newsletter this week. So if you did not receive it, I've had people tell me that because it's kind of a bulk mail, it will go to your spam automatically, because that's how the Gmail sees bulk mail and says it's a spam. So if you did not receive the Temple Buddhist Center newsletter, please check your spam folder. Also, everybody who is signed up for our 4-day silent retreat, I sent out a very important update email about the retreat. So again, because that's got about 30 people on it, I need you to check your spam in case you did not see that, or just email me. Thank you again so much to everybody who helped Unity Temple-wide, the Unity side as well as the TBC, for our angel tree this year. We helped about 45 families, 45 children to find gifts and something special for the holidays. And my last little note was our lending library is becoming depleted. So it's time once again to dust off those old Dharma books that you might have at home and bring them up here to start off the new year, because I cannot tell you how many people have said, you know, I just kind of wandered by the lending library, grabbed a book and just opened it, and they're like, wow, they're finding such depth in the Dharma teaching, something resonated with them. So your books really do make a big difference. And also, where else are you going to find them, you know, right? So books on Buddhism, mindfulness, meditation, whatever you've got at home, please bring those up here for us. And of course, as always, next Sunday is the TBC Fire Puja. And so we're looking forward to that. For those of you that may be staying home to do your Fire Puja, we're going to have instructions in the Facebook description. It's a link to a sheet on how to do your Fire Puja at home. But we're looking forward to joining everybody next Sunday to do that. And as always, Interplay returns January 7th. Thank you so much, Beth, for everything you do. Such a popular program that we have here. Today is our Growing Your Practice class. So at 11:45 to 12:45, it's a way to learn more about mindfulness meditation, have Dharma buddies, ask questions about your practice. The whole 9 yards is what we cover in that class. Second and fourth Sundays. Tai Chi Cha every Tuesday night. We'll start up again January 9th. And the Coping with Depression class is actually going to continue through the holidays. They've had a number of people that say, I really don't want to stop. I'll still be here on Tuesday night. So for anyone struggling with depression through the darker months of the year, so to speak, or this time of the year, that's a great support group to help with that. Don't forget to sign up for things, the newsletter, any volunteer opportunities. Of course, our wonderful Temple Buddhist Center store. Thank you so much, Liz, for building that. And then I'll leave this up there. If you didn't get a Buddhist Jingle Bells sing-along sheet, they're right over by the front of the meditation hall as you walk in. And so with that, here we go. Oh, Robert's ready. So once you see the dream, there's no more primal scream. You'll go throughout your day, laughing all the way. That's a good. Making spirits bright. I'm sorry, I messed it up. I messed it up, hold on. Then we close our eyes, making spirits bright. What fun it is to sit and chant with our Sangha by our side. Om, ring that bell, ring that bell, ring it right away. Oh, fun it is to sing with our Sangha night and day. Om, ring that bell, ring that bell, ring it right away. Oh, what fun it is to sit with our Sangha night and day. So a day or two ago, or maybe it's been years, we sat to meditate and look between our ears. But now my elbow's blue and my elbow's got an itch. A sleigh ride sounds like fun, my friends, but I'd really rather sit. Oh, ring that bell, ring that bell, ring it right away. Oh, what Happy holidays, everyone!
How are you, buddy?
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, too.
And the other thing is, like, we really don't know what Jesus is like. You know, the pictures.
Not exactly. Well, you look.
I think it's funny.
I'm going to turn this, make sure this plugs in.